How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Chat with the Carters. My wife and I, we've been having a lot of fun. If you guys have been watching over the weeks, you guys have learned who we are, what we do, and this season has been rolling. So without further ado, I'm gonna let my wife introduce our next guest for tonight as we move on. Let's do it.
I'm so excited to introduce our guest for tonight's episode. She means a lot to me. I think she means a little bit to him too.
I mean, you know.
She means a lot to us.
Yes, she actually does. She does a lot in the community. She does me, I'm sorry.
I knew he was gonna, like,
she wanted to take me out of
y'all know
it.
this.
Oh my God.
That we do this and then you be like, baby girl, you go ahead and do that part. And then we talked about this in the car. We was like, you know what? We love to interrupt each other. He was like, oh, I like when you interrupt me. So just so y'all know, if you're thinking out there that like she just be over talking him, he like that kind of stuff.
I really do. Hey, you know, wait, I'm gonna say this real quick. So there was something on social media where I saw this guy and his wife had jacked him up and threw him on the wall, and he had on the thing. It said, if y'all see her manhandling me, don't stop, because I love it. Then she was doing it, and he looked over, and he winked at him like, no.
Okay, that's so chaotic.
We love it.
That is the craziest story because our next guest is the least chaotic person that I know.
Yeah.
Her spirit is so calm, so beautiful. She's such a giver. Yeah. She is the founder of a Queenpreneur's plan and the founder of. I said I've corrected
That's
it.
Okay, you got it. Keep going.
He like every opposite. Y'all see how he like said I be correcting him, but he like to correct me too.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
She is also the founder.
There you go. Oh, she got this time,
of a Dare to Dream Awards, found right here in the beautiful Huntsville, Alabama.
Yes.
You guys join us in welcoming the amazing
Latoya
Whitfield.
All right.
Welcome, Latoya.
I'm excited to be here.
We are excited to have you here.
Yes.
You've been busy though. Like trying to get you on the schedule has been bananas because the girl has been booked.
That's a good thing.
I just want to go to sleep.
I knew it.
For real.
We love it.
You know?
But we're gonna let you go then. We're gonna go ahead and hit it and quit it and give these people some good inspiration.
They need to know who you are.
And we're gonna let you get some rest. You know what? As a matter of fact, this is actually the time that you're supposed to be resting and recovering, and you're giving some of that time to us.
I am.
Special.
That's because y'all are special. Only the special people and the elites are getting my time right now.
We elite, y'all. You heard that? We are elites.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Listen to that.
So let's get into. I want to hit real heavy. Who is Latoya Whitfield?
Who is she? She is so many things, but for the most part, she is a creative. And I think so many times I have tried to put myself in this box of trying to make sure that I can be corporate America, to make sure that I can fit into this space and fit into this space before. And then I realized that I will never fit in because I am a creative and I create, and that's what I do. And so being a creative is everything that tells the story of Latoya Whitfield, and that's why you see me creating the things that I've created, because I get an idea and it's going to happen. Once the idea comes, I'm gonna make it happen.
Baby, I like that. I get an idea and it's going to happen. Like there are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I love that. That's how y'all gonna be out there. When you get an idea, you have to be so inspired by your own idea that once it comes to fruition, it's easy to get other people to buy into it because you're so inspired by it. So people can see, and people can see that genuineness. I don't know what's up with my tongue tonight, y'all, but it's just real twisted. But we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. But people can see your genuineness, and then that causes them to want to buy into whatever it is that you do. Because baby, Latoya could be like, Jessica, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be like, girl, just let me know where you need me to be when you need me to be there. Because it's really because you are so passionate about the things that you do, and you're like, listen, this is what I'm about to do, and it's gonna be this, and everybody's gonna be like, and it's gonna impact the community in this way, and we're gonna highlight women, and we're gonna make sure that they feel seen. There are no hidden gems, baby. We are hiding everybody. And I'm like, let's do it. That's how, like, literally when you talk, and it's so funny because you're so calm when you say it, but that's how I hear it.
Yeah.
So where did that confidence come from?
I think the confidence really came from just never feeling unseen. Like, I mean, I always felt like I was not seen. I always felt hidden. And I always have to tell this story because it's an important part of my journey. But I'll never forget when I have so many business plans that I did before any of this happened.
That's the creative side of you.
That's all I had, though. Nothing happened, just business plans.
Sometimes that's the hardest thing to do.
And I was like, yeah, I got this business plan. I get excited. And I was just sitting in my office one day and I said, Lord, there has to be more to life.
Yeah.
I was like, I come in here and I do paperwork all day long and I'm just staring at this wall. Like, I just feel like this is just more for me. And so I just went crazy and I started printing, it was like a cartoon. Like, I was just printing out all these quotes and I was just printing them out and throwing them everywhere. And I started hanging them all over the wall. Wow. And it was one that stood out to me and it was by George Eliot. And he said, it's never too late to be what you might have been.
Wow. I love that quote.
And I saw that quote and I was just like, it meant so much to me because by this time I had a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, but I still didn't feel confident. But that quote, when they say words matter, they do. And when I saw that quote, I was just like, okay. And so I just started just praying and asking God, like, what's my next step on my journey? And he was like, I want you to create this page and I want you to call it Huntsville, Alabama Community Resources. And I was like, okay, because I sure don't like talking in front of people, so this is good, Yeah. And so I created that page, and during this time, God told me like I was going to be a speaker, and I was just like, yeah, right. My hands sweat, and I get nervous talking in front of people. But I still heard him, I still, laughed about it a little bit. But I would go into my coworkers' offices and pretend like I was talking on stage. Wow. And I would tell the story about what happened when I left this job. Mm-hmm. Like, just pretending. I was like, I used to work here, but this is what we're doing now. And then, like, my coworkers would just laugh, and they would hype me up. They just hype me up. And so I just continued to do that. And then one day, I just felt like the resource page just, like, everybody knew what it was. And all I was just doing was just trying to be a resource because I felt like that people needed to have access to resources other than what was listed. And your neighbor could just help you. If they had some formula, they could just give you some. You know, you didn't have to go and wait in the line. Yep. And one day I went to an event, and this lady said, "Are you that resource lady?" And I was like, "That's yeah." Good. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I follow you. This is, the pages is amazing." Wow. And
it is amazing, by the way.
It's like
there's something out there on the Huntsville, Alabama Resource Community page. There's something out there for everybody. I'm out there sometimes, and I'm filtering through trying to figure out like who needs help with something. I'm like, ooh, there's not a shortage of people that need help. But the beautiful thing about it is there also isn't a shortage of people on that page who are willing to help. Yes. It's like you bring together the needs and the solutions all in one space, and I think that is amazing.
Yes, it's about like 23,000 people in that group right now, and I can never like tell my story without telling that because it was then that like after news people started to reach out to me and wanted to interview me, and then I was just like, people want to interview me, and then I think. After so long, I just became confident because I was just like, this is who God told me I was. And I started reading about Moses and how he didn't feel confident talking, and he would like ask Aaron to like, he was like, God, let my brother come with me because I don't speak well. And it was through looking at Moses' journey that he became confident over time. And I was like, confidence didn't come from not doing it. It came from doing it. Yes. And I think that's what happened. Like my confidence came from doing it. I still get scared, but when I do it, like that's when that's what people see. They see the confidence, but they don't see me shaking, baby, in the dark. They don't see how scared I am, my heart beating, my hands sweating, but they see this bold, confident person, but it's just because I decided to do it.
We got to roll back real quick because you said a lot of stuff. I want to break this down so we can really decipher what you said. So if you guys heard what she said earlier, please type it down. You made the statement that words matter. I love that. When you make that statement, that is so important because sometimes if you're not intentional, you don't understand where you're going and what you're doing, you could be out there and not have a target. You know, in the military, they taught us when you shoot, you need to have a target so you know if you hit that target or not. So it matters to be precise about what you're doing. Also, you said that you went into the room in the office and you said, you would go in there, you would just start practicing or just playing, just, making statements. And sometimes in life, we'll start, we'll do things and we'll think that we're just, it's unintentional, we're just, but when you envision yourself somewhere doing things, I tell my wife all the time, that's what I do. It's like a dream. It's a dream. I'm creative, like you said, being creative. I'll go somewhere and I'll see myself, like you said, standing up speaking or playing the piano or like I'm an instructor at Calhoun Community College. Before I got that position, I saw myself in the classroom teaching the students, and I really envisioned it. Like I saw that, and now I'm doing it now.
Right.
So now that I'm there doing it, it's easy because I feel like I've done it before already.
You've already rehearsed in your mind.
Exactly.
So is it like you're working? You ought to work the jitters out a little bit.
Yeah, you show through. So you don't want me to throw my shoulders like that?
Well, I'm a girl.
Okay, I want to make sure I can't.
I don't want you to shoot me.
Okay, you're right. You're the female side of our union.
That's
so
right.
As the male side, I cannot do the things that.
Shimmying.
I understand. I can't shimmy.
No shimmying.
She's shimmying. I'm sorry, guys. But no, you're right.
No, I was making I thought it was a very important point.
It was. I'm bothered with you though. But
We apologize for the shenanigans.
Yeah, we're so sorry.
I'm used to
Welcome to January Party.
But no, you're right though. You're totally right about that. Like you practice. You have to practice. Some people don't understand the importance of practicing. Like you can't say that you're gonna do something, you don't be intentional about going and even getting your friends, your family. Like in that moment, that was your way of practicing in front of those. Those
are still some of my really great friends.
Exactly. And they, like you said, they hype you up, they pump you up, and you take time to really work out jitters, by laughing. So I love that you said that. And that's something that you guys definitely need to take heed to. Even though you made the statement that, you were playing and doing that, that is a real thing that a lot of people that are professional, they do that all the time. They'll go and preach to the washer and dryer. They'll go and talk to their family, or they'll go and look at the wall or the mirror and talk to themselves and see themselves envision in that place that they want to be before they get there in order to get there. Like you said earlier, sometimes you don't know the next step until you make this step. Once you make that step, it's like other things are being revealed as you go with the confidence. And, you can call my wife and the others who are part of the Queenpreneur plan and have a strong vision, but it's because you've sat back and you've dreamed, or like you said with your One Flame with Elaine, you wake up in the morning and that's your time to really think through and get the confidence to be able to call it. My wife said when you call her and you start telling her, she hears the excitement. Even though you may be laid back saying it,
she's so calm and reserved. Like, listen, Jessica, I got this idea. I'd be like, girl, hype me up.
Let's do it. Exactly. But no, I just want to make that statement. I did not want them to miss that.
There was
words matter. Go for them.
And I'm about to carry out on that because there was also something else you said, not just the practicing part, but you said that you would sit there and you would tell them, this is what I used to do, but this is what I do now. You are already speaking your future into existence, even in the midst of where you were. When you were in a space that you may not necessarily been happy with your job. I would assume that that's the case because that quote, if that quote caught you to say that there's never too late for you to become what you always wanted to be, and I might have misquoted it, but I like to paraphrase. I paraphrased it. But for that quote to catch your attention, that means there was something inside of you that said, this is not what I want to be. This is not where I want to be. This is not the end for me. And then for you to speak yourself out of that place. Because sometimes we don't always see ourselves out of somewhere, and it starts with us first speaking ourselves into a new space. And so when you can formulate the words to say, because listen, in the beginning, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And he said, let there be light. And then he began to speak other things into existence. The bulk of what God created in the beginning, it was all created by his mouth, his words. He spoke the words and it happened. Even when he created man, he said, let us create man in our likeness and in our image. Even though he created man, he formed man with his hands, before he even began to form man, he spoke the words first. So he said what he was going to do and then he did it. And so it's like the earth has to respond to what we say. And so it's very important that you, one, have an idea of where you want to go, even if you don't have the full picture. And then you're not afraid to see yourself there and say, you know what, that's where I'm going to be. So let me practice on y'all right now. Like, I love that. And so through all of that you've gone through and all of the mental gymnastics of being able to see yourself in a space that you were not at the time, how do you utilize that part of your story to be able to speak life into the women? I know this because I'm a queenpreneur, but for the people out there who don't know, You know, how do you utilize that part of your story to be able to speak life into the women who come in? Because just from personal experiences, some of the women come in and they have these amazing business ideas, but that's really all they have. They're literally fresh out the gate and starting in business. They don't know left from right sometimes in business, and I've watched you pour into these women. What do you pull from to be able to let them see who they are?
I think most of the time I pull from like, you're no different than me. You know, like, do you know, like this many years ago, like just only 5 years ago, I didn't believe that I would be here. Like, I have to go back and tell my story because this confident person that you see did not always exist. And I think that's where I pull from. And then oftentimes people will come to me and it's almost as if like they're a fan. And I'm just like, girl, sit down. Let me tell you something. You ain't no different from me. Like, I mean, God has given you a vision, and just like he gave me a vision, the only difference is that you haven't started to work it probably yet, but I worked it and I did it scared over and over and over again. I still get scared every single time I do something. And I think that's been the main thing, is just making sure that when people see me, they see God, that they're not seeing me as like this type of idolizing me. I think that was the main thing for me. I didn't realize that there was this idolization that was happening, and until God revealed that to me. And so I had to start praying and asking God that when people see me, that they see him, so that they could then identify with who they were, and then they weren't trying to be me.
That's good.
That's good.
Yes.
Because sometimes people see, it's so funny because I was literally just talking to somebody about this exact same thing today, is that sometimes people will see you and they applaud who you are, like you said, and it's like they're a fan, and oh my God, like, I want to be just like you. But the reality is, matter of fact, I was talking to my therapist about this today, and I said, you know, I've had people that walked up to me and said, like, you do so many different things. Like, every time I turn around, you're juggling something and you do it so well and you have such poise and such grace when you're doing it. And I'm like, but it's killing me on the inside. Like, it's draining me. And people don't always get to see that side of things because they look at you, they look at us sometimes and they think that, hey, like, you got it in it and you're doing it and it's so easy and it's so effortless. And it's like, no, you just don't always see the effort. Sometimes I've mastered the art of making it look easy, and oftentimes it's really not. So I think what you're doing with the Queenpreneur's plan is absolutely amazing, because I see you get to pull back the layers to show them that, hey, there's work that goes into this. Like, there are times when, I love how sometimes you'll call us and you'll be like, listen, y'all, I'm about to just flip the whole table over. Like, listen, somebody encourage me. And I love that, because that level of vulnerability, it shows that, you know, in order to build something as great as what you've been building here, there are still moments when although you see the purpose behind it, you know the outcome that you want to get, and you know that it's going to happen, it's just like, right now, I just don't feel like it.
Right.
And people don't always see that part, that side of things. And I love how you not only show it to the ambassadors, but even the mentees and the global impact, being open and honest with those ladies. Speaking of global impact.
Hold on. Before you go to that, I want to make sure I say this too. If you guys heard what she said, please put this in the comments. You said, do it scared.
Yes.
I love that statement, because a lot of people think that people who own businesses and they move, you know, fast and get into real big things, they weren't scared. Like, they just did it, they had the confidence and moved forward. Sometimes, often, all the time, you know, you have to do it scared, because most people are going to be afraid, because you don't know. It's unknown. Like, most territory in business, unless you have a partner that's already kind of been doing it and they allow you to come in, when you start something, that vision, God gave it to you, but you're afraid because you don't know how people are going to receive it. And you can't do it timidly, but you have to do it scared. I love when you make that statement.
That's why I hate the term fearless.
Yeah, but you said can't do it timidly, and that's a good point, because my husband always says, your nerves ain't the same as everybody else's nerves. And I was just like, I was so nervous. I was so scared. He was like, but your nerves not the same as everybody else. I was like, but for real, like, I was.
Like, shaking in my boots, boy.
You know, and I think that confidence is what, when people see you from the outside, they see the confidence that you have gotten from doing it scared and relying on God. Because for me, if I wasn't asking God for strength, there is no way I'd be able to do any of this.
Another good point, yes.
See, I'm trying to get to the global impact, but asking God for strength right there, that just hit me. It's important that we rely on God. Go ahead.
Because the Bible said that when we're weak, He's strong.
Yes.
That's when we see God's strength.
And that's why it's so important that we do rely on Him. And that's why you're scared. Don't look like everybody else is scared. Because although you're scared when you do it, you've already placed it in His hands. So His strength is being made perfect in your weakness. So people don't get to see your fear or your weakness because all they can see is His strength operating through you. And I think that's a great testament and a great example of what it's like when you let God take the lead.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to spin the block back a little bit because we got to talk about the global impact community.
Yes, global.
Give us a little bit on that.
When I thought about doing global impact, it was more of like a reverse engineer type thing. When, let's just be real, Black women are just not supported in that way. Yeah. And so when I thought about global impact, I thought about how do I bring this back? Because a lot of times I was trying to make sure that the grants were going to like the young girls in arts, that was going to the HBCU students. And then I was just like, let's circle this back because nobody's giving grants like just easily like that to Black women. So if I create global impact and give grants to Black women and making sure that we're circulating this money among everyone, that was the idea that I had. So not just community, but also making sure that we could give financial resources as well.
I love it because, you know, it's funny. I remember when you first told me that and I was like, okay, so we're not just going to fund them. We're going to educate them, then fund them. Right. I like that because so often people are able to walk into places and they can apply for grants and, you know, you'll get the money, but you don't necessarily know how to utilize it properly in your business in order for it to really work for you. And so you'll get these $5,000 and $10,000 grants and then, you know, in the next month or so, your business is exactly where it was before you got that grant because you don't know the important areas in your business that you should apply that money in order to be able to maximize a return on that level of investment in you, especially when it's an investment that all it requires from you sometimes is to either just show up or write an essay or something like that to just explain what your business is. But now when it's time to go back and work the business, oftentimes I've found that people don't always know how to do that. So that's one of the things that I love about the global impact community. See, this is why I say this is gonna be a different type of interview because I got a lot of inside knowledge on this, is that not only are you're not just handing out money, these women have to show up on the third Thursday of every single month, coming together to learn, and they're being poured into by various people in different areas of expertise in the business sector to be able to make sure that they know how to properly market their business. They need to make sure they're learning how to make sure their business plans and their business strategies are properly in place, and knowing, even identifying their customer base, because some people just want to serve everybody, and it's like,
you can't.
You can.
You can't.
You're wasting your time by trying to cast a net to everything, and you're wasting energy in spaces where you're not going to catch anything at all. But if you're very precise in your target, then you're going to hit more. And that's one of the things that I love about what a global impact does in the community, is that you're educating these women, and then they're being funded. So when they get that money, now you can take $500 to $1,000 and flip it into 15, rather than taking 15 and then turn it into 500 or 1,000 because you don't have the knowledge to properly use it.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
Now, I feel like there's so much with you. I'm like, man, Jessica, I gotta get it in order.
Can we roll back though? Because we know you, and I think some people here.
And that's the problem, because I'm like, I need to get the people to know her.
Yes. And I know some people here in Huntsville know you, but the world is listening. So where are you from? Like, what's your roots? What's your background?
Oh, you backed all the way up.
Yeah, let's get into it.
In the beginning.
In the beginning.
Let's get into it, yeah.
Well, I think it's important for us to talk about that, because I think so many times we try to size ourselves up based on where we're from.
Yes,
and,
exactly.
you know, I'm from this small town called Coffeyville, Mississippi. Population is about 800.
Wow.
You have about one grocery store. You have now $2 stores.
About one grocery store?
About one grocery store. You know what? Actually, there's no grocery store now.
Wow.
It was one.
Wow.
And there's
that was
no
that about?
Yeah, that was the about. Because maybe it can come back.
Wow.
You know, make sure my ponytail don't come off like Jess was. You know, because I can't be swinging too hard, okay?
Listen, baby.
That's funny.
Because, baby, I just thought I had a
Don't
flashback
let
of
it
when I
fall
saw
out,
that. Because it was kind of.
Because I will laugh. I will laugh.
I'll tell you right now, because I'm gonna laugh at you. I'm gonna help you pick it up.
Baby,
and
yeah.
Put it back on, but
Let's
I'm
make
gonna laugh.
sure, you know, because I just got to
Oh, yeah.
do my hair. Okay.
I just gotta put a couple more pins in the next time.
Right.
Can't have you out here looking crazy in
Oh,
front
yeah.
of people.
Her daughter does hair. She's really good at it. So
Yes.
check,
I know
look,
that's why I was like, there's so much.
Yeah.
so much.
We're gonna let you, because we got a lot more questions.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, so, you know, 800 population, there's no grocery store now, but only had one. There was one dollar store growing up. We have like $2 stores now.
Wow.
There was one high school, you know, one elementary school. You know, everything was one bank.
It was one of those everybody know everybody type of situations.
Mhm, yeah. And so you grow up in an area like that, and then, you know, you don't have access to resources.
Yeah.
And the only time that you get to experience something is when you go on a field trip.
Wow.
And so that's where I came from, and I grew up like in the deep country.
Yeah.
So, you know, you had to drive to town in order to just get something.
I'm so happy you said that, 'cause baby, the first time I said that to somebody after I left Greta, they was like, what's the town?
I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, but we gotta go get groceries. Like, you gotta go to town.
Yeah.
Understand that.
And that grocery stores, like you
had to
said.
have about 3 freezers so that
Exactly.
you know.
Yeah, you go when you get back to the house. Yeah.
Right.
That's why I love you so much. I knew there was a connection.
It's been a connection, okay?
I knew it.
So, you know, you started from the bottom, now we here. Like, that's really the definition of that. And so when you come from an area like that, you really don't always have like the high expectations of what you could be unless you see other people around you doing. And I think this part of my story is so important because my mom didn't drive, my grandma didn't drive, and my brother didn't drive.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I bought my first car at age 17, and then I started to learn to drive probably around that time, around 16, 17. My granddaddy could drive though, and so he had a car.
So wait, what
Like, how was y'all getting to town?
What were they
My
doing?
granddaddy.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so he was the only person that drove. You know, we still had family members, so everybody stayed in the same area.
Okay.
But they would always say, like, granddaddy is not gonna let nobody drive their car.
Yeah.
You know, I was the first person that he let drive the car because he had got gouch foot, whatever it's called. And so,
I know. He got that gouch.
Got that gout, baby. No
So,
fish, no spaghetti.
yeah. So, but I was still having to look at women in my family that to help me believe that I too could drive.
Yeah.
You know, so it was just one of those things. I mean, my dad was a truck driver, but I still wanted to see a woman that was driving in my family there, so I feel like I could do it too.
makes sense.
But it wasn't until like now I realized that it was mindset that helped me through this journey. But when I bought my first car at age 17, I wrote a letter to my aunt who lived in California, and I told her that I would pay her back if she sent me the money to buy me a car when I was 17, because I said, this is not gonna be my life. I'm not just finna sit in this country and just like sit on the porch all day and watch the cars come by. Like, this is
And then
not
wave at everybody.
Right, this is not gonna be my story. So I wrote a letter and I sent it to my auntie, but the whole time I was still working as if my aunt would never send me that money. So I was still getting my child support checks. I got about 200 of those, $200 a month. And then I was working at Piggly Wiggly at $5.15 an hour.
Wow.
And I did not spend no money. I don't care how hungry I got. I would not spend no money. I would not buy no chips.
That's some discipline.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
That's when I understood like that, okay, all the things that I had, that I was learning on my own, but I didn't know what that was called.
Yeah.
And so I made all this money. By the time that the check, my aunt sent me the FedEx check, you know, the FedEx truck came. They don't never come in the country.
Yeah.
I saw that FedEx truck.
And you knew it was for you.
I ran out to that truck
That's me.
so fast.
Good stuff.
But listen, y'all, I got the money, but I had saved the money too, so
so you
my
had more.
money was doubled. I had $3,000 at age 17.
Wow, that is good.
who has $3,000 at age 17? Now, I ain't know nothing about no budgeting, right?
Yeah.
So I went and bought the car.
Okay.
And then that money was gone before you knew it, you know.
You at least did the thing.
You meant to go.
You often say you meant to go.
But that's when I understood, like, just the power of just mindset. I didn't know what that was until later on.
That's so good.
But it was mindset, it was discipline, it was belief in myself, like that I was worthy
You're saying so much.
of asking my aunt for that money and that she would give it to me. I believed that she would give it to me, and she sent it to me. She didn't even know me that
And it's crazy though, because not only did you believe that she would send it to you, you still didn't even rely on it because you said, even if she doesn't, I'm capable of doing it myself.
Yeah.
It just might take me a little bit longer, but I can still do it.
You didn't sit around and wait on it.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to get to work. You got to get to moving. You got to, like you said, I love when you make that statement because a lot of people say that they believe in themselves, but the action doesn't show that. Like, I can sit back and say, well, I believe that I'm going to be able to go and move that chair over there. But I'll sit here and keep looking at it, you know, and never get up and physically go. If you say you believe it, then your action should show that you believe that by physically, like you said, having discipline to say, like you said, I'm not going to sit on this porch and stay here the whole time. I'm getting out of here. So that means when I go to work, instead of spending my money on those chips and just random stuff, I'm going to sit that back. That's my action, showing that I believe the thing that I said I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it even if I got to do a little bit at a time. You know, sometimes we forget the power of small things.
Right.
Those small things that we're doing towards a particular goal, they always work out if you keep working them.
Exactly.
You know, like my wife, she has a garden at the house, and watering those little plants every day. You know, I'm not getting up in the morning to go water them.
And he doesn't.
I'm not doing it. Like,
but you made it plain and clear that you would not get nothing.
I'm just saying, she goes out there.
I appreciate the commitment of the plants because I want a watermelon.
I know it's a lot, and she got them out there too. I know. But every day she gets up and she goes out and she waters them. And as time progresses, after about a month, 2 months, 3 months, you begin to see the greenery. You begin to see the blossoms, the bees are flying around, you know. And now next thing you know, there's sprouts. And after the sprouts happen, there's produce, there's, you know, watermelon, she got everything out there. But it's so much happening, but it's those little small things. Every morning when people don't see you, you know, getting up and doing that, when they don't see those nights that you're up all night thinking about this, doing this, like you said.
I did with the flashlight, looking at them bugs that's eating up my greens.
She literally was doing that. I'm like, what is she?
You got to catch them at night. That's when you wake up the next morning, you ain't got no greens.
I go downstairs, where's my wife at? Look out the door. This girl is out here in this garden. It's pitch black dark with a flashlight. She does that.
But if you're gonna eat, you have to make sure you're taking care of your crop.
And we eat good at the house with your girl because she got a green thumb, as they say. But no, back to what I was saying though. It's great to know that you had that ambition at that time. So now you can teach that. You know, you can teach the girls that you see this now. Like you see the plant, you see the tree, you see, you know, my blossom. However, you don't understand those nights, those time frames when I had to be disciplined to say I'm not staying here. I'm moving forward. So I just want to make sure that they did not miss that because you said a whole lot in that little sentence that you just, I think, that paragraph, you know, you did like 3 or 4 sentences. It was a lot in there. I don't want to miss. I was trying to jump in there, you know, like you in and out, like, man, she did another one. Oh, she did another one. Oh, she's good.
So I was sitting here, I was like, dang, I want to say something right now, but I don't want to cut her off. Like, I'm going to wait, I'm going to hold on. And then you said something, I was like, oh, man, I got to pin that thought, too.
So I know they're loving this, and I love it. Because I didn't know a lot of this stuff about you, and I know they did not know. So it's showing us the roots of who you are, like I asked earlier. Those are some really good roots. So,
you're telling us that the roots of who you are, and people are now able to see the fruit that's being birthed from those roots. And a part of that fruit is a Dare to Dream Awards. And before we close out tonight, I really want to talk about that because I think that is something that's so, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna talk for you because I feel like I've done it a couple times tonight. But I want you to tell us. I'm gonna give you a couple of questions, and that way I'm gonna sit back and listen. I want you to tell us what birthed the vision of a Dare to Dream Awards for you, and what do you hope the impact you hope to make from a Dare to Dream Awards? I'm just gonna leave it at those 2 questions right now.
So I'll never forget. I was just sitting there one day, and I was in my bedroom, and like God just said, "Dare to dream," and I was like, "Okay, dare to dream." So I wrote it down, and then I was just like,
so good.
Okay, so an event, you know, and then I started really thinking about how I always had wanted to do an event because I would watch Black girls rock, and I would be like, man, this is just so amazing, like how they're involving the kids in this, and so I started writing down like how much it would cost, and I was like, Okay, so the Dare Dream Awards, okay, this is how much, how am I going, get this money for this, like, and then God just started like just downloading just so many things and told me everything. Like, I just didn't have to think really of what that was gonna look like because I already was doing it with the Queenpreneur's plan. But just creativity, creatives just were not being celebrated in that way. We're in the Rocket City, it's just been discovered, of course. But but you're thinking about STEM and where STEM is very much celebrated, and it's great, it's amazing. I use science in what I do. But there was just not a lot of creativity going. I had went to over 40 networking events in 2021, and I was not seeing Black women celebrated.
Yeah.
And that was really what hit me. And so that's what really birthed it. And I said, Black women should be celebrated, and creatives should be celebrated. And I was meeting all of these amazing women at these events that I did not know about. That was my first time ever meeting. And I'm like, why does nobody know about you? And so for me, I was just like, we have to bring awareness. We got to do something about this. And so that's really where that idea came from. It's just to making sure that Black women were being celebrated in that way. And a lot of women say that this has been their first award, their first time being celebrated.
Wow.
Their first time ever winning anything, ever being nominated. And so for me, that's what it was all about. It's just for you to feel that, I always say you're already a winner, but to have your peers celebrate you and say, you know what, I love all the amazing things that you're doing and the impact, because you're never doing it for accolades. But then when someone says, wow, like, I've been seeing this great work that you've been doing, it just makes you feel really good that it's impacting the people that you were called to in the first place.
Awesome. So speaking of impact, let's take a look at the impact that Latoya is making in our community right now.
I'm Latoya Whitfield. I'm the founder of a Queenpreneur's Plan. We are a 501c3 nonprofit located here in Huntsville, Alabama. I started a Queenpreneur's Plan when I noticed that there was a limited amount of representation of female Black-owned businesses, and specifically in the creative industry. As my daughter was getting ready to go to high school, her middle school teacher actually asked her, what's her plan B? At that moment, it hit me. Why would she ask her what's her plan B when she decided that she wanted to be a cosmetologist? And it was at that point that I knew that we needed to make sure that our creatives, and specifically cosmetologists, were supported. And so that's the reason why I created a Queenpreneur's Plan and the Dare to Dream Award, so that we could celebrate creativity. My daughter was actually able to go to bow hole classes, and it was about $600–700. And everyone doesn't have $600 or $700 to be able to invest in a bow hole lace class. I want to make sure that other kids get the opportunity, same opportunities as her, to be able to be creative in their prospective field and fulfill their authentic purpose. I'm Latoya Whitfield, founder of a Queenpreneur's Plan, and I'm representing the Dare Dream Awards.
That is absolutely amazing. What you're doing in the community for these young women is... I'm almost speechless. You also right now have you're running a campaign at the moment to be able to award these amazing young ladies grants and scholarships. Give us a little bit more information on the HBCU Queenpreneur program and how the community can rally behind you to provide assistance and support for these ladies.
Yeah, so like previous years, we've been able to award, small amounts. Like, it's not small, but it's, it's. But so this year we were able to award $1,200 to each one of the students that were able to go through our program. And what they do is, before they get the money, they're going through training. They're being shown, like, how do I budget this money? How do I use it? How do I do projections? They're learning all of these things about how they should use this money and how they will make this money make money. And so they go through this program, and at the end of the program, that's when they actually go through through actually putting all those things into practice, and then at the end of the year or end of the program, that's when they're actually awarded with the funding. And so in order for just our community to get involved, it's just really being a sponsor. You know, the goal is this year for 2026 going forward is to be able to award 20 students $1,000.
I want... Okay. Say that directly to them. I want y'all to connect eyes. Look deep into her eyes when she say this.
Look deep into my eyes. I need 20 students awarded $1,000, and I need y'all to come in. You know, I did say, you know, don't feel bad if you can't give the full 1,000. It's okay. You can do small amounts, monthly increments. But if you have the $1,000 or $1 million, whatever that is, we will accept it. And just make sure you go to www.queenpreneursplan.com so that you can get more information on being a sponsor for these amazing students that attend HBCUs in Huntsville.
Awesome.
Yeah. I want to say amen.
I know. I was like, I don't know what I said. All right, amen. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Latoya, for...
Hold on, wait. Before you finish it out.
I knew when I got ready to close.
I know. Yeah, no, we finna close it out, but let's rewind back. She said something. I just want to make sure you guys never miss these things. I'll say this too. I'm a person of repetition. I will watch something a million times. That's how you know it. That's how you know that you've consumed it. Mm-hmm. So go back. She said something earlier when she was talking. She said that about Dare the Dream. She said God dropped it in her mind and she wrote it down. Mm-hmm. You have to, sometimes, well, all the time. Yes, you have to write the vision and make it plain. Yes. Do not miss these nuggets that she's dropped this entire episode. If you guys did miss it, go back, rewind it, and look at it over and over and over again until you get these things, because trust me, she's very successful at what she does and she's very impactful in the community, but it's only because of these traits that she's been showing you guys. Now we
and it's also because I don't think the girl takes no at all.
I know.
Like, baby, you hear no and she be like, all right then. I'll be back.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out.
Whenever you're ready, I'll be back. Like, and I love that about you, though. Thank you for coming and sitting and chatting with us, sharing your heart with us, and then being able to share with the community out there how they can be of assistance to help you continue to make the amazing impact that you're making in the lives of every woman that I think you have ever encountered. You have left an imprint on them. So thank you, Latoya, for just being who you are.
Exactly.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Of course.
You're so welcome.
And for those of you out there, we cannot wait to see you next week, right back here, same time, for the next episode of Chatting with the Carters.
See you later.
Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Chatting with the Carters. We have some amazing things on the horizon, particularly on February the 6th. We want you to mark that day on your calendars. We will be bringing back Lovers Conversations, and you will get the opportunity to experience a live Chatting with the Carters, live and in person. Go ahead and click the link below and get your tickets right now. Secure that. Also on February 6th, our book, Becoming One, will be released. You want to get that book. Go ahead and pre-order that book today.
Pre-order it now.
Right down here in the captions.
Yep, go get it, guys. See you guys soon.